There are fears of new violence in Hong Kong after the territory's chief executive invoked emergency powers last used in the 1950s. In response, protesters have begun blocking roads holding umbrellas. And despite the government announcing a ban on face masks, many demonstrators have been wearing them. From midnight local time, they could face up to a year in jail for wearing full or partial face coverings. Carrie Lam says she has imposed the ban to deter violent protesters from turning out. Let's take a listen to what she said.
And I would say that we are now in rather extensive and serious public danger. It is essential for us to stop violence and restore calmness in society as soon as possible. We hope that the new legislation can help us to achieve this objective.
Now, DW's Phoebe Kong is following the story for us and joins us from Hong Kong. Phoebe, very strong words from Carrie Lam there about the serious public danger the territory is facing. What's been the response among protesters to this emergency legislation?
Well, we have talked to some of the protesters about their response to this tough law. That some of them, they told me that actually this measure will deter those relatively peaceful protesters from taking to streets because they fear the white terror now in the city. But on the contrary, for the violent protesters who are the target of the government, some of the radical protesters actually told me that this is not going to deter them from taking any violent act or going on the streets anymore, that they are not going to stop their actions just because of this law, because for them it's not a big deal for them to violate another piece of law. So whether this will be really a very effective measure to stop the violence claimed by the government is still in doubt. And some of the activists, they also submit judicial review to the court already to challenge the government's decision because they think this is unconstitutional, that it may violate the city constitution and also the human rights law in Hong Kong. So some of they want to stop the enactment of the law by legal means.
So some of them have taken this matter to the court, but how is police, meanwhile, going to enforce the ban on face masks? Because, as we heard, some people are defying this ban and still wearing masks.
Well, this law not only to ban people from wearing masks, but also to grant greater power to the police to conduct searching. Like under the new law, the police can search anyone, and they can require anyone to remove their mask during searching. So if anyone refused the request of the police, so it will be considered as breaking the law, and they will face prison sentence for up to 6 months. So this is not a law not only going to affect those who participate in public assemblies, but literally anywhere and anyone with masks that refuse to comply with the request of the police.
Now, Phoebe, with the authorities taking such a strong line now, not just against protesters, as you said, is there a fear that this could lead to clashes and violence?
Yeah, I would say beyond doubt there will be clashes for the rest of the day because, as you have mentioned earlier in the report, we can see protesters already they're gathering on the streets before the end of the press conference of the government. So there are more assemblies called online to be taking part in various districts. In regions across Hong Kong tonight. So we expect that the turnout of these protests will be huge tonight because people will come out to express their anger towards this law, especially before midnight, before the law comes into effect at midnight. So very likely that there will be serious confrontation with the police.
Right, Phoebe Kong in Hong Kong, thank you very much for the update on the tense situation there.